Captain Jake Morrison stared at the main screen of his ship as bright flashes lit up the darkness of space. The New Horizon had been traveling for 6 months to reach this star system, and now he was watching what looked like a massive space battle happening right in front of them. His hands gripped the armrests of his captain's chair as he tried to make sense of what they were seeing. "Lisa, take us behind that asteroid field," Jake ordered his pilot. Lisa Chen quickly moved her hands over the controls, steering their ship toward the rocky debris that floated between them and the fighting ships. The New Horizon was not built for war. It was an exploration vessel designed to study new worlds and make peaceful contact with any life they might find. Jake had never expected to fly into the middle of an alien war. "Captain, I'm picking up energy readings unlike anything in our databases," said Amy Wells from her position at the communications station. Her fingers moved rapidly over her console as she tried to analyze the signals coming from the alien ships. "These weapons are incredibly powerful. One hit from those energy beams would destroy us completely." Tony Rodriguez looked up from his engineering station with worry in his eyes. "Our shields weren't designed for this kind of combat. They can handle asteroid impacts and solar radiation, but not military-grade alien weapons." He paused, studying his readings more carefully. "Though there's something strange about how our shield frequency is interacting with their energy signatures." Jake watched as 2 different groups of alien ships fired at each other with weapons that created brilliant streaks of light across space. The ships themselves were unlike anything humans had ever imagined. Some were long and sleek like silver arrows, while others were massive and blocky like floating fortresses. Despite their different designs, both types seemed to be evenly matched in their deadly dance of destruction. "Amy, can you figure out what they're fighting about?" Jake asked. "Try to intercept their communications." Amy worked at her station for several minutes before shaking her head. "Their language is completely unknown, Captain. The computer can't even begin to translate it. But I am detecting something interesting. Both groups of ships have been scanning us since we arrived." "Scanning us?" Jake felt his stomach tighten. "Are we in danger?" "I don't think they consider us a threat," Amy replied. "The scans seem more like curiosity than targeting. But, Captain, something just changed. Both fleets are turning toward us." Jake watched in growing alarm as the alien ships stopped fighting each other and began moving in their direction. The sleek silver ships approached from the left while the blocky fortress ships came from the right. Within minutes, the New Horizon was surrounded by alien vessels that could easily destroy them. "Incoming transmission from both fleets," Amy announced. "They're both trying to communicate with us at the same time." "Put them through," Jake decided. "Let's see what they want." The main screen split into 2 sections. On the left appeared a tall, thin alien with pale blue skin and large black eyes. On the right was a shorter, broader alien with gray skin and multiple arms. Both began speaking in their respective languages, and somehow the ship's computer managed to provide rough translations. "Unknown vessel, you will submit to inspection by the Valthari Empire," said the blue-skinned alien. "Your technology shows promise. You will be taken for evaluation." At the same time, the gray alien was saying, "Small ship, you belong to the Kronar Republic now. Your unusual energy patterns make you valuable. Prepare to be boarded." Jake stood up from his chair, feeling anger rise in his chest. Both alien groups were treating humans like property to be claimed. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the human exploration vessel New Horizon. We are a peaceful scientific mission from Earth. We claim no territory here and wish only to continue our journey." The blue alien, who seemed to be some kind of commander, tilted his head. Peaceful intentions are irrelevant. Your ship's defensive capabilities are of interest to the Empire. You will comply. Your ship belongs to the Republic now, the gray alien added. Resistance will result in destruction. Jake looked at his crew. Lisa's jaw was set with determination. Tony was already working on something at his engineering station. Amy had her hand ready over the communications controls. They had traveled so far from Earth to explore the stars, and now they faced becoming prisoners or slaves to alien empires they had never even known existed. I have a different suggestion, Jake said calmly to both alien commanders. How about you both leave us alone and we'll continue on our way without bothering anyone? Both aliens seemed surprised by his response. The blue commander spoke first. You do not understand your situation, human. Your ship is surrounded. You have no choice but to surrender. Actually, Tony called out from his station. Captain, I've been analyzing their weapon frequencies. Our adaptive shields can be modified to deflect their energy beams. It won't be perfect, but it might give us a chance. Do it, Jake ordered. Amy, send a message to both fleets. Tell them that humans don't surrender and we don't become anybody's property. The modifications took only a few minutes, but during that time more alien ships arrived from both fleets. Soon there were over 50 vessels surrounding the single human ship. Jake knew they were vastly outnumbered, but something inside him refused to give up without a fight. Shields modified and ready, Captain, Tony reported. Lisa, plot a course through that gap between the two fleets, Jake commanded. Full speed. But, Captain, they'll fire on us, Lisa protested. Jake smiled grimly. Let them try. The New Horizon suddenly accelerated toward the gap between the alien fleets. Immediately, both sides opened fire with their powerful energy weapons. The space around the human ship filled with deadly beams of light, but something unexpected happened. The modified shields not only deflected the alien weapons, but seemed to absorb and redirect their energy. It's working! Tony shouted over the sound of alarms. The shields are holding, and we're actually gaining power from their attacks. Jake watched as his small ship weaved between the alien vessels, somehow surviving what should have been certain destruction. But then he saw something that made him change course. One of the silver ships had been damaged in the crossfire and was falling toward a nearby moon. Lisa, change course. Head for that crashed ship. Captain, that's crazy, Amy protested. We should use this chance to escape. Jake shook his head. We came out here to make peaceful contact with alien life. That ship has people on it who need help, and we're going to give it to them. As the New Horizon headed toward the moon's surface, both alien fleets seemed confused by the human ship's actions. They had expected the humans to try to escape, not risk their lives to help their enemies. For the first time since the encounter began, the alien ship stopped firing and simply watched as the small human vessel descended toward the crashed ship, ready to offer aid to those who had just been trying to capture them. The crashed alien ship lay broken across the rocky surface of the moon. Its silver hull split open like a cracked egg. Jake Morrison led his away team through the twisted metal corridors, their flashlights cutting through the darkness inside the damaged vessel. The air was thin but breathable, though it tasted strange and metallic on their tongues. Life signs are weak but present, Amy Wells reported, scanning with her medical tricorder. There's someone alive deeper in the ship, but they're badly hurt. Tony Rodriguez examined the alien technology around them with fascination. Captain, this is incredible. Their power systems are completely different from ours, but somehow I can understand the basic principles. It's almost like they're using a more advanced version of something we've already discovered. Lisa Chen stayed close to the entrance, keeping watch for any sign of the alien fleets above. Still no movement from either fleet, Captain. They're just sitting there watching us. I don't understand why they haven't followed us down here. Jake pushed deeper into the ship, following Amy's readings toward the life signs. The corridor opened into what looked like a command center, though everything was damaged and dark. Broken screens flickered with alien symbols, and strange crystals that might have been computers lay shattered on the floor. "Over here, Captain," Amy called out. She was kneeling beside a figure lying beneath a collapsed section of the ceiling. "Help me lift this debris." Together, Jake and Tony carefully moved the twisted metal away from the injured alien. What they found underneath made them all stop and stare. The alien was clearly female, with pale silver skin that seemed to glow faintly in their flashlight beams. Her hair was long and white, and strange blue markings covered her arms and face like intricate tattoos. She was breathing, but barely. "She's beautiful," Lisa whispered. "I mean, in an alien way." Amy immediately began checking the alien's vital signs with her medical equipment. "Her physiology is remarkably similar to human biology. Heart rate, blood pressure, breathing patterns. It's all very close to what we'd expect to see in a human patient. But she's lost a lot of blood, and I think she has internal injuries." Jake knelt down beside the alien woman. Her eyes were closed, but as his shadow fell across her face, they slowly opened. Her eyes were large and golden, unlike any human eyes he had ever seen. When she saw him, she tried to speak, but only weak sounds came out. "Easy," Jake said gently. "We're here to help you. Don't try to talk." But the alien woman struggled to sit up, reaching toward Jake with one slender hand. Her lips moved again, and this time they could hear whispered words in her own language. Amy quickly activated her translation device, but the computer was having trouble with the alien's weak voice. "Can you understand us?" Jake asked. "We want to help you." The alien woman's golden eyes focused on Jake's face with an intensity that made him uncomfortable. She whispered something else, and this time the translator caught part of it. "Found. Finally. You—" "What did she say?" Tony asked. Amy frowned at her translation device. "The computer is having trouble with her dialect, but I think she said something about finally finding someone. Maybe she was looking for rescue." Jake felt something strange as he looked into the alien woman's eyes. There was recognition there, as if she knew him somehow. But that was impossible. This was humanity's first contact with alien life. No human had ever met her species before. "We need to get her back to our ship," Amy said urgently. "She needs medical attention that I can't provide here with just our field equipment." "Will our medical bay be able to treat her?" Jake asked. Amy was already scanning the alien with her equipment. "Her biology is so similar to ours that I think our medical systems will work on her, at least enough to stabilize her condition." Tony had been exploring the rest of the command center while Amy worked on the patient. "Captain, you need to see this," he called out. "I found what looks like a communication system, and it's still partially functional." Jake looked at the alien woman one more time. She had closed her eyes again, but her breathing seemed a little stronger. "Amy, you and Lisa get her ready to move. Tony, show me what you found." The communication system was built into the wall of the command center, its crystalline components glowing with faint internal light. Tony had somehow managed to activate a screen that showed alien symbols scrolling past in neat rows. "I can't read their language," Tony explained. "But I recognize some of the mathematical symbols. This looks like a distress signal. And based on the timestamp, it's been broadcasting for several hours. But, Captain, there's something else. This isn't just any alien ship." "What do you mean?" Tony pointed to symbols that appeared repeatedly in the transmissions. "These symbols keep showing up over and over. In human terms, I think they're indicating rank or status. If I'm reading this correctly, whoever we just rescued isn't just a regular crew member. She might be someone very important." "Like a commander?" Jake asked. "More than that," Tony said, studying the symbols more carefully. "I think she might be royalty." Jake felt his stomach drop. "You mean we just rescued an alien princess?" "That would explain why both fleets are just sitting up there waiting," Lisa said as she and Amy carefully lifted the unconscious alien woman onto a stretcher they had improvised from ship materials. "Maybe they're afraid to attack while we have her." Amy checked the alien's vital signs again. "Her condition is stabilizing, but she needs real medical treatment soon. We should get back to our ship." The journey back to the New Horizon took nearly an hour, with the team moving carefully across the rocky surface of the moon while carrying their patient. The alien woman drifted in and out of consciousness during the trip, sometimes mumbling words in her own language that their translator couldn't interpret. Once aboard their ship, Amy immediately took the alien to the medical bay, while Jake returned to the bridge. The two alien fleets were still there, maintaining their positions, but making no aggressive moves toward the human ship. "Any communication from either fleet?" Jake asked Lisa. "Several attempts from both sides, Captain. They both want to know about the survivor from the crashed ship. I've been stalling, telling them we're still conducting rescue operations." Jake sat down in his captain's chair and tried to think. They had come out here looking for peaceful first contact with alien life, and instead, they had ended up in the middle of a war between two powerful empires. Now they had rescued someone who might be an alien princess, and both sides wanted her back. "Captain," Amy's voice came over the intercom from the medical bay. "She's awake, and she's asking for you. Specifically, asking for me? How does she even know who I am?" "I don't know, but she's been saying your name over and over. Well, something that sounds like your name. The translator thinks she's saying Jake in her language." Jake looked at his crew with confusion. "That's impossible. How could she know my name?" "Maybe someone on one of those ships told her," Tony suggested. "They were scanning us earlier. Maybe they picked up our communications and learned our names." But Jake wasn't convinced. There had been something in the alien woman's golden eyes when she first saw him, a look of recognition that went deeper than just knowing his name. It was as if she had been looking for him specifically, not just hoping for rescue by anyone. "I'll go talk to her," Jake decided. "Maybe she can explain what's happening here and why these two fleets are fighting." As Jake walked toward the medical bay, he couldn't shake the feeling that his life was about to change in ways he couldn't imagine. The alien woman had whispered something about finally finding someone, and the way she had looked at him suggested that someone might be him. But why would an alien princess from across the galaxy be looking for a human ship captain she had never met? Jake Morrison entered the medical bay to find the alien woman sitting up on the examination table, her golden eyes alert and focused. Amy Wells stood nearby with her medical scanner, keeping a careful watch on her patient's vital signs. The alien woman had recovered remarkably quickly from her injuries, though she still looked pale and weak. "You came?" the alien woman said in accented but clear English. "I knew you would." Jake stopped in surprise. "You speak our language?" "Your medical," Device taught me, she replied, gesturing toward Amy's equipment. Your technology is more advanced than it appears. It learned my language while I learned yours. She paused, studying Jake's face carefully. You are Captain Jake Morrison of the vessel New Horizon. How do you know that? Jake asked, moving closer but keeping his distance. The alien woman smiled, and Jake noticed that her expression seemed somehow familiar, as if he had seen it before in dreams. My name is Princess Zara of the Valthari Empire. I have been searching for you for a very long time, though I did not know your name or your face until today. Amy looked confused. Searching for him specifically? But that's impossible. This is humanity's first contact with alien life. We've never met your people before. Zara's smile faded, replaced by a more serious expression. That is what you believe, but it is not the complete truth. Your people and mine share a connection that goes back thousands of years, to a time before your recorded history began. Jake sat down in a nearby chair, feeling overwhelmed by what he was hearing. What kind of connection? Zara carefully stood up from the examination table, though Amy immediately moved to steady her. Long ago, my people faced a great disaster. Our homeworld was dying, and we had to spread across the galaxy to survive. Most of my people went to nearby star systems and established new colonies. But one group, the bravest and most adventurous, chose to travel much farther into unknown space. And you think that group came to Earth? Jake asked. I do not think it, Zara said firmly. I know it. The proof is in your DNA, in your technology, and in your behavior. When I saw how your ship fought against impossible odds, how you risked your lives to rescue an enemy, I knew that you were the descendants of our lost colony. Amy shook her head. That's scientifically impossible. Human evolution is well documented. We evolved on Earth from earlier species. Zara looked at Amy with patience. Your scientists have done excellent work, but they have missed some important clues. May I show you something? She walked over to Amy's medical equipment and began adjusting the controls with surprising skill. Within moments, she had brought up a display that showed human and Valthari DNA side by side. Look at the genetic markers, Zara said, pointing to specific patterns on the screen. Your DNA contains sequences that match our oldest genetic records. They have been changed by thousands of years of evolution on your world, but the basic patterns are still there. Jake studied the display, though most of it was beyond his understanding. Even if that's true, why were you searching for us? Zara turned to face him directly, her golden eyes intense with emotion. Because our ancient prophecies spoke of the return of the lost ones. They said that in our darkest hour, when our empire faced destruction, the lost tribe would return with new knowledge and the courage to stand against any enemy. Your darkest hour, Jake repeated. You mean the war we saw when we arrived? The war between the Valthari Empire and the Kronar Republic has been going on for 50 years, Zara explained. Millions have died, and both sides are growing weaker with each battle. The Kronar want to conquer our worlds and enslave our people. We fight to protect our freedom, but we are losing. Amy was still studying the genetic data on her screen. Captain, there are similarities here that are hard to explain. It's possible that humans and Valthari share some common ancestor, though it would have to be much more recent than she's suggesting. Zara walked over to Tony's engineering station, which was connected to the medical bay's computer system. Your technology also shows the connection. Watch this. She began working with the controls, and suddenly the display showed human and Valthari technical designs side by side. Your adaptive shielding system, Zara said, uses the same basic principles as our most ancient defensive technologies. Your energy distribution patterns match designs that my people created 10,000 years ago. This is not coincidence. Tony had entered the medical bay during the demonstration and was now staring at the screen in amazement. She's right, Captain. The mathematical relationships are identical. It's as if our technology is a simplified version of theirs. Jake felt his worldview shifting as he absorbed what Zara was telling him. Let's say you're right about all of this. Let's say humans really are descended from your people. What does that mean for us now? Zara's expression became urgent. It means that you are not just random aliens who stumbled into our war. You are our long-lost family, returned at the moment when we need you most. The prophecies said that the lost ones would bring new ways of thinking and fighting that could end the war and bring peace to the galaxy. But we're just one small ship, Jake protested. How could we possibly make a difference in a war between galactic empires? By being exactly what you are, Zara replied. Your people think differently than mine. We Valthari have become set in our ways after thousands of years of civilization. We fight the same battles with the same tactics, and we cannot break free from old patterns. But you humans are still young and creative. You find new solutions to old problems. Amy looked up from her medical readings. Captain, I hate to interrupt, but we're receiving urgent communications from both fleets. They're demanding that we turn Princess Zara over to them immediately. Jake walked over to the communication panel. What exactly are they saying? The Valthari fleet claims she's their princess and demands her immediate return, Amy reported. The Kronar fleet says she's a war criminal and must be handed over for trial. Both sides are threatening to attack us if we don't comply within the next hour. Zara moved to stand beside Jake. They both want me for the same reason, though they will not admit it. I am the last heir to the Valthari throne, and I carry the genetic memories of our oldest knowledge. Whoever controls me controls the future of both empires. Genetic memories? Tony asked. Each member of the royal family carries within their DNA the recorded knowledge of our ancestors, Zara explained. It is how we preserve our most important secrets across generations. The Kronar want to extract this knowledge and use it to, conquer the galaxy. My own people want to force me into an arranged marriage that will unite our empire with another alien race, giving them access to the same knowledge. Jake understood now why Zara had been fleeing when her ship crashed. So, you ran away from both options. I ran toward the prophecy, Zara corrected. I knew that the lost ones had returned because I felt it in my genetic memory. Something called to me from across space, telling me that my people's salvation was finally within reach. Jake looked around at his crew, seeing the same mixture of excitement and fear in their faces that he felt in his own heart. They had come to the stars seeking knowledge and peaceful contact with alien life. Instead, they had discovered that humanity might have a destiny among the stars that none of them had ever imagined. Captain, Lisa's voice came over the intercom from the bridge. Both fleets are moving into attack positions. Whatever we're going to do, we need to decide quickly. Jake looked at Zara, seeing hope and determination in her golden eyes. If what you're saying is true, if humans really are your lost people, then what happens next? Zara reached out and took his hand in hers. Her skin was warm despite its silver color, and Jake felt a strange sense of familiarity at her touch. Next, we go home to Earth and prepare your people for what is coming, because both fleets will follow us there, and the war that has destroyed so many worlds is about to reach your doorstep. But this time, with human creativity and Valthari knowledge working together, we might finally have a chance to end it. The New Horizon raced through space toward Earth at maximum speed, but Jake Morrison knew they were not fast enough. Behind them, both alien fleets had combined into a massive armada of over 200 ships, all heading straight for humanity's homeworld. The irony was bitter. In trying to save one alien princess, they had led an interstellar war directly to Earth's doorstep. "How long until they reach Earth?" Jake asked from his captain's chair. Lisa Chen checked her navigation calculations. Again, "At their current speed, maybe 18 hours. We'll arrive about 6 hours ahead of them, but that's not much time to prepare a defense." Princess Zara stood beside Jake, studying the tactical display that showed the pursuing fleet. Over the past few days of their journey home, she had worked closely with Tony Rodriguez to combine human and Valthari technology. The results were impressive but untested in real combat. "Your Earth governments will not believe the threat until it is too late," Zara said quietly. "My people made the same mistake when the Kronar first attacked our outer colonies. They thought one species could not possibly threaten an entire empire." Amy Wells looked up from her communication station. "I'm receiving a priority transmission from Earth Defense Command. President Helen Carter wants to speak with you directly, Captain." The main screen flickered to life, showing a stern-faced woman in military uniform sitting behind a large desk. President Carter had been a general before entering politics, and her expression showed she understood the gravity of the situation. "Captain Morrison, your report about an incoming alien invasion fleet has caused quite a stir here on Earth," the president said. "Our long-range sensors have confirmed multiple large objects approaching our solar system. I need to know exactly what we're facing." Jake stood up, feeling the weight of humanity's future on his shoulders. "Madam President, we're facing two separate alien empires with technology far more advanced than ours. The Valthari Empire and the Kronar Republic have been at war for 50 years, and that war is about to reach Earth." "How many ships?" President Carter asked bluntly. "Over 200 vessels, ranging from small fighters to massive battleships," Jake replied. "Their weapons can destroy our largest cities in a single shot. Our conventional defenses won't be enough to stop them." President Carter's expression didn't change, but Jake could see the concern in her eyes. "What do you recommend, Captain?" Zara stepped forward into view of the camera. "President Carter, I am Princess Zara of the Valthari Empire. I believe there is a way to defend your world, but it will require your people to accept some difficult truths about their own history." Over the next hour, Zara explained her theory about humanity's connection to her people, showing the genetic and technological evidence they had discovered. President Carter listened without interruption, asking only a few pointed questions about the technical details. "Even if what you're saying is true," the president finally said, "how does that help us defend against this fleet?" Tony Rodriguez had been working at his engineering station throughout the conversation. "Madam President, Princess Zara has taught us how to enhance our technology using Valthari principles. Our weapons and shields can be upgraded to match their capabilities, but we need time and resources." "How much time?" President Carter asked. "To properly upgrade our entire defense fleet?" "Weeks or months," Tony admitted. "But we might be able to create a smaller force of hybrid ships in the time we have." President Carter was quiet for a long moment. "Captain Morrison, I'm authorizing the immediate implementation of whatever upgrades you and Princess Zara can provide. Every available ship in our defense fleet is being recalled to Earth orbit. We'll also begin evacuating our major cities just in case. After the transmission ended, Jake turned to his crew. You heard the president. We have less than 18 hours to turn a bunch of exploration and cargo ships into a fleet capable of fighting advanced alien warships. It's not impossible, Zara said with more confidence than Jake felt. Your people's creativity combined with Valthari technology can create solutions that neither species could develop alone. But Jake, there is something else we must discuss. Jake looked at her with concern. What is it? Both alien fleets are following us not just because of me, but because they now see humanity as a threat, Zara explained. Your people have already demonstrated abilities that surprise them. They want to either conquer you or destroy you before you become more powerful. So we're fighting for our survival, Amy said grimly. Yes, but also for something more. Zara replied. If we can defeat these fleets, we prove that the old ways of thinking about galactic power are finished. Small, creative species like humanity can stand against ancient empires and win. The New Horizon reached Earth orbit just as the sun was rising over the Pacific Ocean. Jake had never been so happy to see his home world, but he also knew this might be the last time he saw it in peace. Within hours, the space around Earth filled with human ships as the defense fleet assembled. The sight was both inspiring and heartbreaking. Earth's entire space fleet consisted of maybe 50 ships, most of them designed for exploration or cargo transport rather than combat. Against 200 alien warships, they looked pitifully small and weak. Begin the upgrade process immediately, Jake ordered. Every ship gets the hybrid weapon and shield systems. Priority goes to the largest vessels. Tony and Zara worked together at a frantic pace, transmitting upgrade instructions to every ship in the fleet. Human engineers across dozens of vessels began installing alien technology they barely understood, following Zara's guidance and trusting that it would work when the time came. Captain, Lisa announced from the pilot station, long-range sensors are detecting the alien fleet at the edge of our solar system. They'll be here in 2 hours. Jake felt his heart racing as he realized the moment of truth was almost upon them. How many ships have completed the upgrades? 23 so far, Tony reported. The rest are still working, but they might not finish in time. President Carter's voice came over the communication system from Earth's military command center. All ships, this is Earth Defense Command. Unknown alien vessels have entered our solar system and are approaching Earth. All civilian traffic is ordered to evacuate the area immediately. Military vessels, prepare for combat. Jake looked around at his crew, seeing determination mixed with fear in their faces. They had started this journey as peaceful explorers, and now they were about to lead humanity's first interstellar war. Princess Zara, Jake said formally, you've kept your promise to help us prepare, but you don't have to stay for the battle. We can evacuate you to a safe location. Zara shook her head firmly. My place is here with you, Jake Morrison. The prophecies spoke of this moment when the lost ones would stand against impossible odds. I will not abandon my people's long-lost family when they need me most. The alien fleet appeared on the main screen as a cluster of bright dots approaching from deep space. As they got closer, individual ships became visible, their alien designs both beautiful and terrifying. The Valthari ships looked like silver arrows cutting through space, while the Kronar vessels resembled massive metal fortresses bristling with weapons. All human ships, this is Captain Morrison, Jake announced over the fleet communication channel. In a few minutes, we're going to face the greatest challenge in human history. We're outnumbered, outgunned, and fighting with technology we barely understand. But we have something they don't have: the refusal to give up when everyone expects us to lose." He paused, looking at Zara, who nodded encouragingly. "Today, we're not just defending our world. We're proving that humanity deserves a place among the stars as equals, not as subjects or victims. No matter what happens, make them remember that humans don't back down from a fight." The alien fleet reached the outer edge of Earth's orbital space and immediately divided into two groups. The Valthari ships took positions above Earth's North Pole, while the Kronar fleet moved to the South Pole. The human defense fleet found itself caught in the middle, facing enemies from both directions. "Incoming transmission from both alien fleets," Amy announced. "Put them through," Jake ordered. Both alien commanders appeared on the screen simultaneously, their faces showing a mixture of arrogance and uncertainty as they looked at the small human fleet. "Surrender the Valthari princess and submit to Kronar authority," demanded the gray-skinned Kronar admiral. "Your resistance is futile. Return Princess Zara to her people and accept Valthari protection," said the blue-skinned Valthari commander. "You cannot hope to stand against us alone." Jake smiled grimly as he realized both alien leaders still didn't understand what they were facing. "This is Captain Jake Morrison speaking for all of humanity. Princess Zara is under our protection, and Earth is our territory. If you want either of them, you'll have to go through us first." The battle for Earth began when the Kronar fleet opened fire with massive energy beams that lit up space like artificial lightning. Jake Morrison watched from the bridge of the New Horizon as his small human fleet scattered to avoid the devastating alien weapons. The upgraded shields held against the first assault, but he knew they couldn't survive a prolonged battle against such overwhelming firepower. "All ships implement attack pattern Morrison 7, Jake commanded over the fleet communication channel. "Hit them with everything we've got, then fall back before they can target us." The human ships moved in ways the aliens had never seen before. Instead of forming traditional battle lines, they spread out in seemingly random patterns, striking at the alien fleet from multiple directions simultaneously. Jake had learned this tactic from studying Earth's military history, particularly naval battles where smaller, faster ships had defeated larger enemies through superior mobility and unpredictable attacks. Princess Zara stood beside Jake on the bridge, watching the battle unfold with intense concentration. "Your people fight like the ancient Valthari warriors from our oldest legends," she said with admiration. "They are using creativity and courage to overcome superior numbers." "It's working so far," Tony Rodriguez reported from his engineering station. "But we're taking heavy damage. 3 ships have already lost their upgraded weapons systems. The Valthari fleet had initially held back, apparently content to let the Kronar and humans destroy each other. But when they saw how effectively the human tactics were working against their enemies, they began to move into attack position as well." "Captain," Amy Wells announced from her communication station, "the Valthari commander is requesting to speak with Princess Zara directly." Jake looked at Zara, who nodded. "Put him through." The blue-skinned Valthari commander appeared on the main screen, his large black eyes showing surprise and something that might have been respect. "Princess Zara, I am Admiral Corvex of the Imperial Fleet. Your human allies fight with remarkable skill, but they cannot survive against both our fleets. Surrender now, and I will guarantee their safety." Zara stepped forward, her silver skin seeming to glow in the bridge lighting. "Admiral Corvex, these humans are not my allies. They are our long-lost family, returned to us after thousands of years. They fight not just for their own world, but for the future of our entire species." The Admiral's expression changed to one of shock. That is impossible. The lost colony was destroyed millennia ago. Look at how they fight, Zara said, gesturing toward the tactical display where human ships continued their unpredictable assault on the Kronar fleet. Look at their technology, their courage, their refusal to surrender against impossible odds. These are the traits our ancestors carried when they left the homeworld to explore unknown space. Jake had been listening to this exchange while coordinating his fleet's attacks, but suddenly he had an idea. Princess Zara, if Admiral Corvex believes you about humanity's connection to your people, would he be willing to help us fight the Kronar? Zara's golden eyes lit up with understanding. Admiral Corvex, the prophecies spoke of this moment when the Lost Ones would return to unite our people against a common enemy. The Kronar seek to enslave both human and Valthari worlds. Together we can stop them forever. Admiral Corvex was quiet for a long moment as he considered what Zara had said. Around them, the battle continued to rage as human ships darted between. The massive Kronar vessels like angry hornets attacking a giant. Even if what you say is true, the Admiral finally replied, my orders are to retrieve you and secure this system for the Empire. I cannot simply ignore my duty. Jake felt frustration rising in his chest. The human fleet was holding its own. For now, but they were slowly being worn down by the superior numbers and firepower of their enemies. They needed the Valthari as allies, not as another enemy to fight. Admiral, Jake said, stepping into view of the camera, I'm Captain Jake Morrison, and I'm speaking not just as a military officer, but as a representative of humanity. We never asked to be involved in your war, but now our world is threatened because we chose to help someone in need. If that doesn't prove that humans and Valthari share the same values, I don't know what will. Before Admiral Corvex could respond, alarms began sounding throughout the New Horizon. Lisa Chen called out from her pilot station, Captain, the Kronar are launching some kind of massive weapon toward Earth. It's bigger than anything we've seen before. On the main screen, they could see an enormous missile-like object, separating from the largest Kronar ship. It was heading directly toward Earth's surface, and Jake realized with horror that it was probably capable of destroying entire continents. All human ships, concentrate fire on that weapon, Jake ordered desperately. We have to stop it before it reaches the planet. But even as the human fleet focused their attacks on the massive projectile, Jake knew their weapons weren't powerful enough to destroy something that large. Earth's billions of people were about to die, and there was nothing he could do to save them. Princess Zara suddenly grabbed Jake's arm, her golden eyes wide with realization. Jake, there is one way to stop that weapon, but it requires both human and Valthari technology working together. Admiral Corvex, if you truly serve the Valthari people, you will help us save an entire world from destruction. Admiral Corvex looked at the massive weapon heading toward Earth, then at the desperate human ships trying uselessly to stop it. What do you need me to do, Princess? Link your fleet's power systems to the human ships, Zara explained rapidly. Their adaptive technology can channel and focus our energy in ways we never imagined possible. Together, we can create a weapon powerful enough to destroy that missile. The risk is enormous, Admiral Corvex protested. If the power transfer fails, it could destroy both fleets. Jake didn't hesitate. We'll take that risk. Better to die, trying to save our world than to watch it be destroyed. The next few minutes were the most intense of Jake's life, as Valthari and human engineers worked together to create an impossible alliance of technologies. Energy flowed between the two, fleets as their power systems synchronized in ways that should have been impossible. "Firing in 3 seconds," Tony announced, his hands steady on the controls despite the enormous pressure. "All power to the combined weapon system." The beam that emerged from the linked human and Valthari fleets was unlike anything ever seen in galactic warfare. It was a brilliant column of pure energy that seemed to bend space itself as it reached across the void toward the Kronar superweapon. When the beam struck the massive missile, the explosion lit up half the solar system. The weapon that would have destroyed Earth was vaporized instantly, its debris scattered harmlessly into space. The Kronar fleet, stunned by the destruction of their ultimate weapon and faced with the combined power of human creativity and Valthari technology, began to retreat toward the edge of the solar system. Admiral Corvex, seeing the proof of what humans and Valthari could accomplish together, ordered his fleet to stand down. As the immediate crisis passed, Jake felt Princess Zara's hand slip into his. He looked at her and saw tears of joy running down her silver cheeks. "You did it," she whispered. "You proved that the lost ones had truly returned. Our people will never be the same." Jake looked out at the combined human and Valthari fleets, now working together to secure Earth's safety, and he realized that humanity's destiny among the stars was just beginning. They had started as explorers seeking peaceful contact with alien life, and they had ended up as the bridge between ancient enemies, showing the galaxy that cooperation was stronger than conquest. "What happens now?" Jake asked Zara. She smiled, her golden eyes bright with hope for the future. "Now we go home together, to both Earth and the Valthari worlds, and we begin building a new kind of galactic civilization, one based on the human values of courage, creativity, and the refusal to give up, combined with Valthari wisdom and technology." As Jake looked out at the stars, he knew that this was only the beginning of humanity's journey into the galaxy. There would be other challenges, other enemies, and other worlds to explore. But now they would face those challenges not as alone explorers, but as part of a greater family that spanned the stars, united by shared values and the courage to stand together against any threat.